I used to care about playing in bands. Um, that used to be the, the whole of my identity was just the playing in bands and getting to be that guy. And then right before I started Rich People, about 5, 6 years ago, yeah, just something changed in me where I think the overarching drive for me to play music at this point is it's more involved with uh, using a platform to exchange ideas, and I believe that I live by a good set of ideas that aren't original, that I didn't come up with, but that I think are very helpful for relieving suffering, through self-awareness and self-acceptance. And I think that those ideas, when infused even in a small percentage, on a small percentage of our world or our community or our society, I think could have major positive consequences on our attitudes and our perpetuation of suffering and getting, and joy and the things that I believe matter, the things that I believe underlie all the issues, like love and empathy. If there was more of those in, in general, in our media, in our government, in all of these, in our corporations, in big pharma, and all this, if people had to consider these things more, or felt, or had their perspectives aligned, such to say that those things could positively affect the people in power's lives. And if they became acutely aware of the effects that could have positively on their own lives, being more considerate of the public they serve, I believe there will be massive systemic, everybody wants to use the buzzword systemic, massive systemic change, just from introducing a higher level of, and I know they're woo-woo words, but like love, empathy, acceptance, compassion. If we were using more words like that when it comes to corporate America and government and all this stuff, I just think there would be, well, I know for a fact there would be less of this massive, socioeconomic disparity gap. I know that it would be less divisive. At this point in America, we have a nation divided, a nation fighting via Facebook and Twitter and, the hashtags and all this stuff. And, the internet is the greatest resource we've ever invented. We have information doubling and tripling in size per day at twice the rate it used to in 10 years, 50 years ago. So, it's this amazing tool, and it's just a double-edged sword, and it cuts both ways. And I personally accept both ways that it's cutting, but I know that I personally have a choice whether to use it to divide or to enrich my life or enrich my relationships or, use it. My friend Ray used to always say before he spoke publicly, he would say, is what I'm about to say going to bring the group together or divide it up into camps? And I think about that a lot because I get emotional about a lot of things, and I want to say some stuff before I've sat with the issue and thought about it. And I want to react instead of respond, and I want to say something that's very very, I want to sell my beliefs and values. I want to push that as that is the truth, because I believe that all people were created equally, and that we need to change all these big things so that everyone is treated equally. And what happens is we polarize people that either don't have all the information, or that just that no one's ever explained to them the negative effects that this stuff has on them, and no one's ever offered them the perspective. They were just raised different than me, or they were involved in different communities than me, and whatever, or they just innately value different things than me. And I'm not looking at their perspective. I'm looking at this one comment they left that wasn't even completely disagreeing, but was just why do you care about this, or or making a joke of something I take very seriously or something. But I'm not looking at it from their perspective. It's like when you're having that miserable day and you're very, very serious. You're taking yourself very serious, like I'm depressed or I'm sad or I'm upset. And my buddy's making jokes, and most days I'm joking around with him, and I'm like, this is cool. This is totally fine. I'm laughing. I'm like the first one to be joking around and laughing all day, but there's that day that I'm upset, and my buddy's joking, and I'm just moody, and the more he jokes, I'm getting more agitated, and he's trying to break me out of it. That's his intention, is to just break me out of it, but I'm so serious that I'm just getting madder and madder, and I walk away from that day with a huge resentment, and I think about the internet sometimes like that, hey, some people are in a light mood and they say some comment and they didn't mean anything by it, or maybe they did. Maybe they're the whole there's always some truth in jest. There's always a little bit of truth under a joke. Okay, cool. But, I think a lot of times we demonize people and put it we want to separate people into two camps type of thing. You are bad or you are good. You are 100% bad or you are 100% good. And if one of your, one little panel of your beliefs doesn't line up exactly with mine, then you're the bad guy, and it's not fair to the person we're demonizing, and moreover, because that person's gonna get over it, probably, unless they're also maladapted. But if they're a well-adapted person, they're gonna get over it, and I'm gonna sit here with my resentments, and I'm gonna build an entire case file, an entire, I'm going to build a, what do they call that, a class action lawsuit against the American public that doesn't agree with 100% of my beliefs. And it's polarizing. And people would say that what I'm saying right now is very political, and I would just have to disagree. I'm talking about humans. I'm talking about human relations. I'm talking about togetherness. I got a text from Ty this morning, and he said, I didn't read the news yet, so I'm feeling pretty good. Or I didn't get into it with anybody about all these conspiracy theories yet. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, when I engage with that stuff, when I engage with it and become obsessed with it, I'm no longer in a posture of love or trying to connect with other humans. I'm in a finger pointing position, a posture of you did this and you are this, and I'm so virtuous and I'm so good, and I don't know. I think it's unhealthy. But you call me corny, you call me naive. I've never given a shit what people want to call me in this regard, but I'm an optimist. I am, or maybe I'm a realist, and I believe I'm just a realist, and I think there's room for optimism. I think think people are going to get so burnt out with hating each other that we're going to get to this point where we start, I think we're going to start building a case towards loving each other and, call it corny, but I believe in that type of stuff. But anyway.